Brightstorm has thousands of high-quality videos covering all major subjects. Please check out more at www.brightstorm.com.
I just wanted to take a few minutes to share some vocabulary tips with you for a couple reasons. First of all, the SAT vocabulary is extremely challenging. And on the plus side, if you do invest the time in learning some more vocab, that will have a guaranteed payoff on test day. You'll know more words, you'll answer more questions correctly, and in addition, you'll be more confident, which will help your performance, and you'll be able to move more quickly, which gives you time for the questions you really need to think through. And I have 3 tips to share with you, so let's talk about those. The first trick I want to talk about is pretty straightforward. It's just using your knowledge of foreign language, either to decode words on test day or to learn words before test day. Let me give you a couple examples, and I want you to try to memorize them as we go. There will be a pop quiz at the end of this bit. So here are 3 examples. Facile means easy and effortless, and you might recognize the word facile from Spanish or French class. Then we have terrestrial, related to the earth. You might recognize a word like tierra or terre. And lastly, arboreal is related to trees, like arbre in Spanish or arbre in French. If you take Japanese, that's totally awesome, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to be much use to you here. Second tip, use imagery, which means associate a picture with the vocabulary word. Let me give you some concrete examples and try to memorize these too for the pop quiz coming up. Temporal means related to time. So why don't you picture this? The word looks kind of like temples, the side of your head. So picture a guy with clocks, because it's related to time, right here. So when you see the word temporal, you'll picture a guy rubbing his temples and there are clocks there, because temporal means related to time. That's word number 1. Word number 2, abridge is to shorten. I want you to see the word bridge there and think of some people trying to shorten a bridge. And the more vivid the imagery, the easier it is to remember. So maybe try to picture people trying to shorten a bridge, and of course they can't because the bridge is a certain length and they're having trouble. So abridge means to shorten. Try to remember that. Last one, conflagration is a huge fire. The word conflagration has the word flag in it. So picture a flag burning. When you see conflagration, see the word flag. When you see the word flag, see a picture of a flag burning. Conflagration means big fire. So remember those 3 images. And the last trick, let's look at it. Mnemonics. Now, imagery is related to this. It's the idea of making up a stupid story or picture to remember something. You want to make up a phrase or a sentence, maybe a rhyme, that involves the word you're trying to learn. 3 more examples to add to your list of words to remember for the pop quiz. Preclude means to make something impossible. I break it down into 2 parts. Pre-include. I think of preclude as meaning prevent and exclude. Preclude, prevent and exclude. If I prevent something and I exclude it, I'm making it impossible. So preclude means make impossible. Remember that? Penchant means a liking for something. Like I have a real penchant for sushi. Now it looks kind of like the word pendant, that kind of necklace. So see the word pendant there next to the word penchant and think, I really like your necklace. So when you see penchant, you automatically think, oh, I really like that pendant. And you know penchant means liking that way. Lastly, laudable means deserving praise. And when I see laudable, I turn it into the word applaudable. Like, oh, that was great, you deserve praise, that was fantastic. Now, let's tie this all together with a pop quiz and see if those 9 terms stuck with you. You may want to freeze this and see whether you know the definitions, more or less, for these words. Temporal, abridge, conflagration, preclude, penchant, laudable, facile, terrestrial, and arboreal. Give it a try. The answer's coming up. Here goes. So how many of those did you remember? I suspect it's more than you might have expected. So try these 3 tricks in order to memorize words more quickly and remember them longer term. Let's do a wrap-up. So bottom line, vocabulary study is pretty straightforward. The vocabulary on the SAT is tough, but studying has a good payoff that's guaranteed, and we went over 3 tricks to help you. Using your foreign language experience, using imagery, and using mnemonics. Of course, this was just a brief preview, and you have to make this your own. So as you go through and study SAT vocabulary, as you'll hopefully do, try to draw on your own foreign language experience, make up your own images and your own mnemonics. And try to do this on material that makes sense to you. So if you're somebody who learns best with flashcards, that's great. Go grab some flashcards. You might even want to add your images or your mnemonics to them so you can study better that way. Or if you've already learned, say, some vocabulary in English class from last year and you've kind of forgotten it, maybe you want to go back to those words. You've already learned them once, so they're kind of familiar, and they'll be faster to learn again, especially if you add in some foreign language experience, some imagery, and some mnemonics.
By 2. I can't do this with you two laughing back there.
Work it. Work it.
So if we had, no, that's not right, 3 coplanar points.
So have you ever gotten off an airplane?
Has to be less than. Yeah. Dang.
Is it like 500 degrees in here or what?
All right, so when you're in chemistry class, you're going to be doing a lot of work. You're going to be starting over.
So as an example, we could consider like you've got a chain hanging from two fixed.